We just went over the recent DPS charts, and there's some new rankings, right? Things have reshuffled. Looks like hunters are doing much better, warlocks are doing way, way better than they were before, and shamans are remaining at the very top. 11.0.5's new meta specs dominating in the War Within right now. Let's see what the dominant specs are right now in the War Within.
Boy, oh boy, do we have a shocking new episode today. 11.0.5's massive class changes and updates over the last couple weeks have brought a brand new meta that nobody was going to expect, with very surprising specs that are simply dominating the game right now. In today's video, we're bringing you 11.0.5's best specs in the shocking new meta that comes with it. So without wasting more time, let's jump right into it. Right off the bat, one of the biggest surprises of the patch has to be Survival Hunter, as they shot up to near the top in terms of overall damage for both Mythic Plus and rating. I'll be the first one to say I was wrong. I thought Marksmanship would be the #1 DPS for Hunter, but Survival has said otherwise. The changes to Butchery as well as Fury of the
Hey, always take these meta lists with a grain of salt. You don't have to actually play this shit. This is just always, to me, interesting to look at, like, who's parsing out the best. It's not going to change what I play. I play Blood DK. I don't give a shit. But I just like to see kind of where everyone's resting, what the community's playing mostly, and I pay attention to that side of it. But I don't give a shit. I'm not changing my spec for anybody.
Eagle really boosted up these spells to probably where they really should be, and the buffs to Pack Leader to just greatly increase their damage of Wildfire Bombs has made it just a lot better at this point. If you didn't know, for Survival Hunter, their top damaging abilities in general have typically been Wildfire Bombs, but now buffing that and amplifying it in multiple ways through Pack Leader and the recent updates, as well as, you know, having Butchery getting a nice little buff and constantly getting Raptor Strikes to get big damage buffs from your Pack Leader. I mean, things are feeling really, really good. You have a very straightforward...
These numbers are pretty crazy. What the hell? Wildfire Bomb, what the shit? That thing is powerful. Holy crap.
Big damage buffs from your Pack Leader. I mean, things are feeling really, really good.
Of your damage from those two abilities.
Hits very hard, and answers about every problem the game can throw at you. If you need more AoE damage, you have your Wildfire Bombs, you have your Butchery constantly annihilating just about everything that comes in contact with you. You have those chunky Raptor Strike going off for the big single target damage from the passive hero talent tree, and it doesn't impede on your rotation either. I think the Hunter in general needs some more defensive capabilities in terms of Mythic Plus and rating. Personally though, I am loving them. I think they're on the up and up. Survival Hunter's looking fantastic, while also being one of the least picked classes in the game, which makes it even cooler in my opinion. Another massive surprise, believe it or not, actually goes to the Destruction Warlock.
Oh my god, Warlock made a huge comeback. We just looked at the charts. It was like 18 spots up from where it previously was. Yeah, Warlock's got a lot of love. I was expecting it. Warlocks never stay at the bottom, man. Somebody at Blizzard loves Warlocks. I've always
was looking like a dumpster fire just a couple weeks ago, as they were getting no changes heading into a new patch and sitting at the bottom of the logs. It made no sense. But after a little bit of time, they got some buffs that are notable to the class, like Chaos Bolt, Immolate, Incinerate, Rain of Fire. I mean, their damage just shot up so high that they're one of the best DPS classes in the game out of nowhere. You combine that with all the utility they bring, like Hellstones, Gateways. I mean, the Destruction Warlock has become the brand new Arcane Mage, in my opinion, and rightfully so, because they haven't been performing well for a long time, so it's really nice to see them shine. Chaos Bolt's hitting average for like 2 million a cast, Shadow Burn hitting for like 1.5 million,
Cadence?
And their Diabolic Ritual constantly summoning Overlords to spam Chaos Bolts for you. The class has become so straightforward, man, hard-hitting, awesome hero talent trees, while also having one of the coolest class fantasies in the game. This patch has done wonders for Warlock overall, but specifically for Destruction and Demonology so far, and it really shows, man.
Yeah, they're in a
I
great
really
spot.
love that this class is dominating in all forms of content right now. Shout out to Destruction Warlock mains for sticking it out. You guys deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who stuck it out, great for you. But I mean, I never feel too bad for Warlocks because their utility is always so damn good with the health stones and summoning and everything else. You just got to bring one to raid either way. So they're always viable. Adrenaline, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, Achilles?
Of course, getting back into the normal, we got to talk about some of the other classes. First off, Assassination Rogue. This class hasn't slowed down one bit since the expansion drop, and typically, it's been one of the top DPS specs in the game throughout. In raids, for a pure single target, it tends to slow down a bit after elongated periods of time, but things change the second there's any AoE involved. You get your Caustic Splatter, you get your dots rolling up with AoE Garrotes, AoE Ruptures, everything around you just starts getting melted, and things are just very satisfying from a pure DPS perspective. There's a reason why Assassination Rogue is dominating in Mythic Plus right now, and their damage is just amongst some of the highest in the game. They have constant kicks, they got big debuffs with their Iron Wire, as well as keeping casters silenced because of that for such a long period of time, so you don't have to worry about kicks. You also have your attack speed and casting speed debuffed through mind-numbing poison to help to keep the group alive. I mean, you combine that with all this, you have a nice hero talent tree with Deathstalker that supports Assassination really, really well for those really chunky and Venom crits. I mean, it doesn't impede on the rotation. Everything's looking good. The formula for Assassination is so strong right now in the War Within. Love the Assassination Rogue. The numbers are through the roof. And because you don't bring the most utility in the game, this is where the class should be. They should be blasting.
I'm happy for Rogue, too, because honestly, all three of their specs were kind of down not too long ago, and now they're back up. So, I mean, it's good for Rogues. Anyone who stuck it out with Rogue, great. Did my stream schedule change just for these next 2 months? Yeah, I'll be streaming at 10 a.m. to start, rather than the usual 5, because I'm on paternity leave. So,
absolutely fantastic spec right now. Of course, when we're talking about the best of the best, though, there's zero chance you do not bring up the Enhancement Shaman. This class is pretty much universally known as being the #1 DPS spec in the game, with all of its utility it brings, with the totems, the new raid buff, as well as the class just simply pumping on the damage meters right now compared to everybody else. Elemental Shaman, you saw the other week, just breaking the meters, but they did get nerfed, they did get adjustments, and surprisingly, they shot down pretty low. But Enhancement Shaman hasn't really gotten touched, so it's continuing to stay top of the leaderboards. One of the coolest things about Enhancement is that both of their hero talent trees now have a place in certain gameplay scenarios. They have countless players running Stormbreaker and Totemic on the logs right now, depending on the situation. So not only do you have fantastic flexibility with gameplay styles, both of them are dominating and meta at this point. So you can play whatever the hell you want and universally be known as one of the best in the game. I still think personally Enhancement has a serious button bloat problem where there's just simply way too many DPS options when it comes to dealing damage out there. So personally, it's not for me. I really would have loved it.
So is Shaman like high skill ceiling then? There are a lot of buttons to click and shit. People got to know what they're doing. I mean, I've seen Shamans come in and pump their asses off in raids. So, I mean, the ones I've seen have been pretty good.
Pruned it down just a bit, similar to how they did with Retribution Paladin. But overall, Enhancement is absolutely meta in the War Within right now, dominating both Mythic Plus and raiding, no problem. Last but not least for the DPS, you already know it was coming. We're talking about the Frost Death Knight. Right off the bat, I think everybody knows that if it's a pure single target situation, Frost Death Knight does tend to fall behind. That is true, but the second you add any multi-target cleaving, the Frost Death Knight's damage is through the roof with Brett's Syndragosa. You also pair that with their AoE Obliterates, Reaper's Mark, and those juicy awesome.
I wonder though, these seem to be down. These numbers seem to be down from what they were previously when we just looked at the most recent DPS charts. So I mean, maybe this is you know, just based on multi-target and that's why it's so high. But Frost DK was doing worse than it was previously when we just looked at it.
Animated exterminate freaking procs. I mean, I've been in Mythic Dungeons with Frost Death Knights who could spike to like 9-10 million DPS, and I'm watching everything in the room just get completely melted, and I could just kick my feet up and watch as the Frost Death Knight just handles just about everything on his own. This is probably the 6th or 7th week in a row where Frost DK is topping the leaderboards, and it's all really for good reason, man. 2 hero talent trees that are awesome, incredible survivability to withstand any punishment out there, disgusting on-demand burst damage, a straightforward rotation that isn't difficult to pick up and learn on a class fantasy that is amongst one of the best in the game. Love the Frost Death Knight right now, and their future is looking bright. And speaking of a bright future, moving on to tanks, in my opinion, the biggest surprise of the video, we have to talk about the Protection Paladin. Yes, you heard that right. One of the worst specs in the game a couple weeks ago got completely buffed, updated, and changed heading into a new patch, and thank God because they
so now they're doing viable damage. Now nobody wants to bring my Blood DK anymore. All the prop paladins are back. All the prots. I feel like every time prop paladin's good, everybody respects the prop paladin. People just love playing paladin in general. It's got to be one of the most popular in the game. Yeah, you're back.
Were horrible right before this. Right now, you have a class that has a fantastic amount of self-sustain.
I feel like they're always doing great.
Glory. By far the #1 DPS in the game with constantly spamming Shield of the Righteousness and Avenger Shields. Disgusting utility.
They're so good. Like, besides the fact that Vengeance Demon Hunter can move so quickly through a Mythic Plus, having a Paladin tanking for you, right? It's just, the prop Paladin just does so well in pulling groups and just staying alive and sustainability and keeping themselves up. It's hard to beat it, I'll be honest. As a Blood DK, I do envy them at times.
Will Blessing a Sacrifice, all their bubbles and all the buffs they bring, and off healing they bring for their team. The best on-demand defensives in the game if you properly time them, like your bubble, Guardian of the Ancient Kings. I mean, dude, at this point, Protection Paladin, you name it, this class now has it, and they're so much fun to play. I personally never really play tanks, but after playing my Protection Paladin over the last few weeks, it has been nothing but a blast. I'm so happy I started gearing mine up a couple weeks ago. There are some pulls in Mythic Plus where I'm dealing 3, 4, 5 million DPS, and I'm out damaging other damage dealers. And it's so satisfying to be able to do something like that as a tank. I'm in love with the Prop Pally right now. If you have any interest in tanking, this class can absolutely be an option for you. And moving on to a close second, in my opinion, in all forms of content, we got to talk about the Protection Warrior. Not only is their damage some of the highest in the game and can reach in the millions of DPS, you have some of the smoothest damage intake overall
Warrior,
in terms of dungeons.
the classic.
They got decent mobility with Intervene, Charge, Heroic Leap, and stuff like that. But they have really good utility with Spell, Reflect, and Rally, as well as consistent CC with Shockwave and Stormbolt also. Honestly,
I mean, healers, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like as a healer, Prot Warrior is like the best one. They bounce around the least in terms of health pools. Like on the initial pull, I feel like Prot Warrior can always handle the hits better than, say, like a Blood DK where your health just bounces around like a fucking volleyball half the time. So, I mean, Prot Warrior is the OG tank. They are.
Prot Warrior doesn't have many holes in its toolkit, other than the fact that it's just self-sustained. It's probably amongst the lowest in the game, meaning that it really relies on their healer to be solid, compared to other classes in the game like Blood Death Knight and Guardian Druid, where you can just heal yourself through the roof. I also think Mountain Thanes...
Also, you just said the opposite of what I said, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe healers hate healing Prot Warriors.
A lot of their problems that they were lacking previously in other expansions, like AoE threat generation, is now fixed with the new and improved Thunder Blast, replacing Thunderclap. And I also think the gameplay style of trying to stay in Avatar state as much as you can to improve your survivability and stuff, crowd control, damage being boosted from that, as well as a fun integration to the gameplay. I'm going to be honest, overall, Prot Warrior pretty much checks all the boxes for me personally that I would want in a tank, and you'd be happy to have one in your group as well. Moving on to the healers, a clear-cut winner, dominating, has to go to the Restoration Shaman. We all knew...
Shaman, overall, let's just keep this theme going. Shaman is just good right now. Whether you're DPSing, healing, I think they should have a tank spec, and they don't. But they'd probably be good there, too. It's just the age of the Shaman. It's what we live in.
Resto Shaman
really
is by far the best pickup healer for Mythic Plus in Season 1 so far. Tons of utility like Bloodlust, dispels for poison and curses, Sky Fury, bonus health for allies with some of their passive effects like Downpour, and of course, they have the crowd control with Capacitor Totem, and a low cooldown kick with Wind Shear. When it comes to their healing, however, this is where they really shine, in my opinion. The Totemic Hero Talent Tree has greatly enhanced all your healing output through your totems, really diving into that Resto Shaman theme so much, man. I love the amount of healing this class is putting out with Healing Rain, Sprouting Spirits, Ascendance, Chain Heal, Healing Stream Totem. I mean, all of the above. It's fantastic right now. Loving the Restoration Shaman, and because of how well they're combined with their crazy utility, it easily makes them a winner this expansion. We have a couple honorable mentions before we go for healers. I was really stuck between Preservation Evoker and Holy Paladin. I think both of them are equally fantastic.
Yeah, they're both good to bring to raid
Mistweaver
right
Monk
now.
is on the rise right now. I still got to do some more information and digging. I'm not really sure.
I feel like I've been seeing more people playing Monk recently. I feel like every single time we have queues up, I've been seeing more Monks. I don't know. Maybe people are just getting excited about Monk again because it's becoming slightly more viable than it has been.
I'm so stuck and conflicted between what I think the second best healer is. So you guys got to help me in the comment section below. What do you guys think is the second best healer in the game? Let me know. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up the video today on the top classes in the game right now. Of course, we have more Warcraft content coming very, very soon. We got the Warcraft Direct. Additionally, if you all are interested in subscribing to the second channel, we just broke 3,000 subscribers over there, and we're going to start putting out a lot more content over there moving forward. So if you're interested in gaming news in the industry as a whole, be sure to check it out. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Until the very end, my name is Sky from the Comeback Kids. I will see you all in the next one. Peace. Hey, hope you enjoyed the video. Listen, if you guys enjoyed the content, we have a ton of other videos to help you get through the war within, like these two right here. And since you're already here, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button to join the Comeback Kids family today, because every subscriber matters. Thank you all so much for enjoying the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Yeah, overall, good video, but yeah, as Moishi's saying in the comment there, don't forget, you don't got to play the meta. At the end of the day, honestly, the difference between the meta and every other spec is usually so minimal that player skill can overcome it. So play whatever you like, play whatever you feel like playing. At the end of the day, it's a game. So you're supposed to have fun playing the game, right? So play whatever you want, but these meta videos, to me, they're always fun to watch, see who's on top, who's doing the best. Nice video.